attorney Sharifa Tharp. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments now so that I can answer your questions. As always, it is best if you want personalized legal advice, call us and talk to us. Go ahead, call, schedule time to talk to me. And my schedule is filling up, so I urge you to do that ASAP. You can do that by going to the link in the profile. You can get to the website and you'll see all the information there under the contact us page. Go there, fill out the form, or give us a call. We're here to help. But in the meantime, I would like to answer your questions. So put your questions in the comments now. So one thing that I did notice, or one thing that did happen was yesterday. Where am I located? I'm in Delray Beach, Florida. We represent clients in all 50 states, though, and around the globe. How long after biometrics should I get my work permit? You can go to uscis.gov, hit the um, case processing times. You'll see I-765. Look for the I-765 form, and you'll see the longest time it's taking, so you have an idea of the wait time. Thanks so much for the love. I appreciate it. Hi there, Nicole. Hi there, them boys, Mom Dukes. Thanks so much for sharing. Hi there, Adoni. It's nice to see you. Adoni's Kitchen. Thank you. It's nice to see you. Veronica. Hi there. Good morning or good afternoon. Is it true that they are still waiving some marriage-based interviews? So you can expect an interview more than it ever being waived. There may be special circumstances involved, but for the most part, everybody should expect an interview. So this is not going to be a widespread practice of waiving the interview. Thanks for the love on Instagram. I appreciate that. All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Hi there, Jassy Pete on YouTube. Nice to see you. All right, I'm looking for questions. Put those questions in the comments. Received RFE asking for court record, call the court and they no longer have it. What do I do? I'm not your attorney. I can't give you personalized legal advice, but here's what usually you have to do. If they don't have it, you have to ask the court to give you a letter stating that they don't have it and why they don't have it. Hello, can I job sponsor a DACA? It may be possible. So under certain provisions, it may be possible. So for instance, in order to sponsor, so a DACA recipient, there are two things that could happen. The DACA recipient either came by visa or came uninspected through the border. If they came uninspected through the border, keep in mind that they would not be able to adjust status. However, if they traveled on advanced parole and then came back in and they were paroled into the country after traveling internationally, a DACA recipient has to have a travel document to do that. Then in that case, they would now have the ability to adjust status. But keep in mind that they're still out of status for a number of years. So the next thing that has to be determined is whether they fall under an exception of Section 245K. I know it's complicated, but that's why I'm here. I'm here and the law firm is here to figure those things out for you. So this is where you can give us a call and talk to us so that we can decide whether any of the exceptions apply, specifically under the INA to 45K that would allow them to adjust status. We're about to file AOS for my Canadian wife. Her I-94 expires next month. How risky is this for her? So usually in the case, if you're a US citizen and you're sponsoring your Canadian spouse, then you are able to adjust status. If there's, now you're asking how risky is this for her? sounds like you're worried about a number of things, and that's where the personalized legal advice is going to come in. Give us a call and talk to us. What I would say, guys, is no case is simple anymore. Even marriage based cases is not simple. So make sure that you do have the guidance and legal expertise to go through this process. Hi there, Roger Williams. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. So now the number one thing is the cases aren't simple. As you can see, they're doing additional background checks. They're also screening very carefully for fraud. And sometimes when they screen for fraud in that way, they tend to find things, even if it's not the case, even if the individual didn't mean to commit fraud. Maybe there was even not even any fraud, but sometimes in some cases, officers will find something and then jump the gun to fraud. In that case, you don't want to be running around to find a lawyer. Then you want to make sure that you are making sure you have a lawyer on hand who can respond to that and advocate for you ASAP. So it's not just about, oh, I can file this. We all know you can file this, but what happens down the line when additional issues come up and now you're searching for somebody to help you or searching for someone to answer questions or advise you on it. So this is where I'm saying it really is, while it's your choice, I'd say it's a requirement that an attorney be involved at this point. I am seeing people get denied for adjustment, for affidavits of support. One of the most overlooked aspects of the application. So it just goes to show there's so many moving pieces, and you get one wrong, the whole case can be denied. Hi there, V Coops. Thanks for joining. I appreciate that. Thanks for following Queen for real. I appreciate that. Is the F2A current for me? Yes. And you can go look yourself by going to the National Visa Bulletin and you'll see there. Can I spend 100 days in Pakistan on 10-year green card? So I can't advise you specifically to do that. It really is going to depend on your travel history already. You should not be spending more than 6 months outside of the country. And so it can be an issue for you in maintaining your green card, and it can be an issue even getting citizenship. Oh, thank you so much, Inumi. I appreciate that. I have waited for 9 months for my spouse, AOS and EAD, but no update. My case says still processing. Yes, if you go to case processing times, you will see the processing times. You can look for it for the adjustment of status, and you can look for it for the I-765, and you'll see the estimated time it's taking. And unfortunately, yes, it is frustrating to wait that long. Can my spouse apply for my green card? She's from one of the banned countries, but already is in the US. So is she a US citizen? So, and then where are you? Are you in the United States? They have paused processing of certain applications in the United States for banned countries, but keep in mind it should not stop you from submitting your application anyway. I completed my asylum because you don't want to miss any deadlines. I completed my asylum interview in Newark on April 8th. What happens now? Decisions pause. So we just read in an article yesterday was the USCIS has an internal memo or internal directive that says cases, even if they interview the case, they plan to approve it, they now have to turn back and send them back for more background checks at the FBI before they can make a decision, which means months added, months, or now that we're probably going to have millions of cases going back to the FBI, months or even years worth of processing. And so that decision may be delayed because they say any decisions on or before April 27th. that they would have been an approval, but they didn't go through the extra FBI background checks have to go backwards again. I have asylum cases and my cases in court. Um, we had we had our green card interview on 318. I-130 was approved there, but I-485 still pending, normal. At this time, yes, they are taking some time, and then now we have the extra delays with the extra background check. I submitted my RFE for my medical and birth certificate. When should I expect to hear? It could be anywhere from 4 months to a year. How 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 many months is it taken for work permit in Florida? So we don't really go state by state, maybe by the field office. So you can go to case processing times at uscis.gov and you'll see it there. Um, I have renewed my green card and then I received form I-797. How long does a T visa take for you to file? So I don't have a timeline. We try to file as soon as possible. The reason being I always say this. If you follow me, you know what I'm going to say, word for word. I don't run a McDonald's drive through, right? The reason being this case type, I know we make it look easy. I know, but this case type is very complicated and there are a lot of moving pieces to it. And so, while we take care of everything for our clients, some of our clients have very complex issues. Some clients don't. Some clients have complex issues even within their own lives that make it difficult to move quickly. So, it really is on a case by case basis. And right now, guys, the number one thing you shouldn't be shopping around for a lawyer to say, can you file it tomorrow? Right? Can you file this thing tomorrow? If an attorney says yes, they can file it tomorrow and it's not an emergency, you need to look out. But you need to be asking about the quality of the application because that's what immigration is looking for. They're looking for the quality of the information that they're getting. If that document, if the packet that is sent lacks quality information that will lead an officer to the right conclusion, that's where the problems start. And usually, once they become very skeptical about the case, it sort of goes downhill from there. So we always take the time to be able to put a solid case together, and that's how we get results. My spouse just graduated and wants to apply for a work permit. Is the process for that frozen? If you are, you should still apply. So keep in mind, frozen doesn't mean you should not apply. I'm seeing this in constantly where people are like, "Can I apply? Is it still paused?" If it's paused, you still apply because you don't want to miss any deadline. So, for example, your spouse just graduated, maybe they're going for OPT. You don't want them to miss the deadline because it's going to be on her if she misses that deadline. So it's important to he or she to miss the deadline to um, apply. But first, make sure you qualify. Talk to us. Schedule time to talk to us. I had my asylum interview in November 2025, and I haven't heard from them yet. That is unfortunately that's something that does happen. All right, I'm on Instagram. Good morning. Okay, so say this one is a doozy. So say, God forbid, and you file a VAWA and you get denied and you're still married to that person, can you then go back and do a regular marriage-based petition? If you're married to that person, that's possible. My advice going forward with a situation like that, first of all, is if I was representing you on the VAWA, and then Lord said this situation happened, got denied. I would not be. There would be a conflict of interest. I couldn't represent you on the marriage-based portion of it. But keep in mind that um, the reason you applied for VAWA in the first place was this spouse probably was not dependable. and they were going to cause you a lot of problems. That still exists. That risk still exists. So you also have to take that into consideration. Also, immigration would not disclose that they would not disclose the application. They're not supposed to disclose the application to the spouse, but it means that they're going to see that VAWA application and they're going to have they're going to scrutinize your case. So you just have to make sure you get proper legal advice to um, ensure that's the right move. Because I think personally, with a spouse that you had to file VAWA on, personally, that spouse probably is not going to be dependable in the process. Sometimes getting the spouse involved can lead to the denial because they sabotage the process. After biometrics, what happens next? Either a decision, if you applied for a work permit, usually a work permit. Hello. Good morning for some, good afternoon for some people. Thanks for the greeting. Okay, I'm looking through for questions. What's new for F1 visa holders waiting for H1B that was denied or still waiting? If your H1B was denied, then you wouldn't be able to move forward. You'd have to find other options. Go ahead. So you said you called, so we should answer our phones. I know we have multiple people answering the phone. So, you can send us a message, you can go to the website, submit a contact form as well. But we are very good at answering the phone. An attorney filed a marriage based case 2 months, and to date, no money taken from the account and no receivable notice. The attorney did not give any copy of document. Do you take such a case? So no, that sounds like something you need to take up with the attorney, that your attorney, but I don't take that because that's not a immigration issue. That sounds more like an issue related to the paying of the fees. Okay, answering questions. Put the questions. I'm on Instagram right now. How long does appeal cases take? Marriage-based filing. So appeals can take upwards of a year. But keep in mind, once again, I don't control processing time. So I'm just giving estimates based on our experience. An attorney file a marriage-based case. I answered that. Okay, they want to change attorneys. Now, if it just depends. If you really want to talk about the case, because I don't even know if it was filed. If the person wants to change attorneys, we need to find out more about where the case is and whether it's something we could easily jump into. All right, I'm on YouTube. Is it a good idea to submit additional YouTube and Facebook? So, is it a good idea to submit additional documentation even if USCIS didn't request it? That's a good question, and it really is on a case by case basis. I have proactively submitted additional evidence in some cases, and in others, I waited. Sometimes the documents may get lost, especially if you have an original document, and ends up getting lost. That can be devastating. So sometimes it's about waiting for a request for evidence. But if you know that it's an absolutely required document that they could deny you at any minute, then that would also be another consideration to immediately send it and not wait until USCIS request it. So it all depends. It all depends on what works for that particular situation. During N400, that's a citizenship interview, should we bring federal and state tax or just federal? So they are just worried about the federal taxes. But keep in mind, I'm not your attorney, and if you have, I'm not your attorney, as I can't advise you specifically on what to do. But the immigration usually doesn't want the state. We received our marriage interview for June 2nd. Now we don't know if they canceled with this new pause. So still show up if you're gonna receive a cancellation notice, but until then, show up. Uh, okay, I'm thank 4.1K likes on TikTok. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Can I apply for advanced parole while I-45 is pending? 4 months fam? Yes, yes. You can apply for your work permit and your advanced parole while it's pending. My mother has an I-130 filed by her brother in April 30th. 2001, can she apply for AOS? She's Mexican. It may be a possibility, yes. Through Section 245I, give us a call and we can walk through the situation and determine. Because if you're a U.S. citizen, and a petition was previously filed by her brother in 2001, which and it also depends on certain factors like even her physical presence in the U.S. So that's where we need to talk. Then yes, absolutely, Section 245I may be applicable here. Section 245I is a provision under the law that says if a previous petition was filed for you on or I believe it's on or before April 30th, 2001, then you would be able to still adjust status showing that that petition was filed. And so this may be a situation, but we'd have to verify certain facts to make sure. So this is where it's important to call, schedule that appointment so we can figure it out. So, for example, if you're a U.S. citizen, your mom entered the country without inspection, but was petitioned for, then petitioned for by the brother on or before April 30th, 2001, that means Section 245 I would apply and you could do adjustment of status. She could do adjustment of status through your petition. So it's a crucial relief that may be granted to you. How long does it take for a child to claim their parents? 21. I think to file for their parents, they have to be 21 and US citizens. Can I apply advanced parole while, okay, so I answered that. If you have been in America for a B1 visa from Nigeria, can I apply for asylum? Yes, you can apply for asylum, but just make sure you are within the deadline. Even if you're outside of the deadline, talk to us because there may be special circumstances where you can still apply. But absolutely, asylum, you can apply for asylum. We actually got an approval just last year for a client who came with their visitor's visa as well, and they were approved within 3 months of entry. That's not going to happen with all cases because people wait. You can get it in 2 months, but you can also be waiting years for asylum. But the first step is to take it. Do you do a VAWA? Absolutely. Yes, we do VAWA. VAWA is one of our main case types. Absolutely. Give us a call and talk to us about it. Oh, thank you. My son is doing well. Thanks so much for asking. We received our marriage interview for June. Okay, so I answered that. I'm on YouTube, just looking for new questions. And then let me jump back to Instagram. Let's see what's going on. How long can child start the application for parents? They have to be age 21 or older. Thanks for following on Instagram. Um, okay, so I don't see any more questions. All right, back to TikTok. I would love to talk to you about my US visa was denied. So if you can always give us a call now. When it comes to like visitors visas, we don't focus on those. We focus on ways to help individuals to be able to stay in the United States or come into the United States to become permanent resident. What will work in this administration for someone who have expired visa but didn't file asylum? We'd have to figure out what your circumstances are. It may not be too late to file for asylum, but we have to understand. And there may be other options as well. My child born abroad just received her passport. Can I bring her to the States whenever she can? Yeah, so if she's a US citizen, well, she just received her passport. If she's a foreign, if it's a foreign passport, she's not a citizen, then she's going to need a visa. If she's a US citizen who got her passport abroad, then of course she gets to travel. Will pause for more vetting affect consular processing from I-601 standard waiver? Probably, yes, because it is processed in the United States. So it's going to undergo, and it's for the green card. So that's what they're focusing on. Um, okay, I'm just checking for questions on Instagram. Hi, Lady P. Nice to see you. Thanks for watching. I'm in Nigeria. Can you link me up with a job? We don't connect people with jobs. There is something about a pause. So what they're doing is they're further delaying the cases by pushing cases that never went through the additional FBI screening. They are now pushing those cases backwards again to do another FBI screening, which ultimately is going to lead to um, it's going to lead to another delay, a delay of months and maybe even years. So this is where we are right now. But here's what I say, guys: don't let it stop you from applying for the benefits that you qualify for. Failing to apply could be where you lose. How long does VAWA take to be approved? Go to uscis.gov, go to case processing times, scroll down to case processing times, and then put in I-360 form, and you will see the timeline, the maximum time it takes, I believe the shortest time, and the longest time it takes, so that you're prepared for that wait time. If you qualify, though, keep in mind you need to also make sure you're not being short-sighted. A pause does not mean you cannot apply. The pause means that they put a hold on the decision, but you still must apply for the benefits that you qualify for. Thanks for sharing the live, Lisa Queen. I appreciate it. 6.7K likes on TikTok. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And the reason I appreciate it is because by doing that, you're allowing this to fall on other people's For You page. And they get information that can empower them in this immigration journey. What is the line for intent for B2 and marriage? If a couple talked about possibility of marriage and they do get married on tourist visa, does talking cause intent? Uh, that question is, I don't know. I'd have to understand the context of it. So this sounds like you're worried about something. Definitely get in touch with us and talk to us in an appointment about it. Good afternoon. How soon can you start the process for start change if the child is turning 21 in the next few months? So the day after they turn 21 is when you can file that application. Hi, Sophia. Thanks for watching. So is there something about a pause? I just explained it earlier. Any news about the immigration pause? No. So when it comes to the 39 countries, those are still paused in the United States. Keep in mind there was a federal court in New York. Judge George Russell did order USCIS to process green card applications that were paused for 83 plaintiffs that were citizens of the 39 banned countries. But that does not extend nationwide. But we can expect that this is going to they're going to bring more cases. I'm from Nepal. What about a DV winner in 2026? So I'm not sure about that. I believe it's paused right now, but I would have to verify. So pause is still in place. What about F4 category? My priority date is November 2009. So it takes usually 14 years just to get the NVC started. So um, it's gonna depend. Uh, it's gonna depend on I think your priority date is 2009. You have to check to see what date they're processing right now. Okay. So you want to propose, and you're just worried that proposing could create I guess, an intent. Um, as most people, when they propose, they don't necessarily have a timeline in mind, and so I just wouldn't have an answer for this. Really, I don't. It shouldn't have been an issue. I've never heard that being an issue, right? A proposal being an issue. Thanks for the love. So the time, whether you're going to get the BFD, the bona fide determination for the TVs, that's going to depend on when you applied. If you applied after August, I believe August 28th, 2024, you're considered for the BFD and the EAD, the work authorization. If you applied before that, then they would you'd have to wait for a final decision. How long can the child start the application for the parents? So I think I answered that, but age 21. How are you? Okay, thank you so much. It's nice to see you in Kazakhstan. What about renewing a work permit category C14? So I guess I would have to see what's going on to determine how to move forward with I believe that's deferred action. So we'd have to understand where you are on the deferred action. If you're not granted deferred action, again, you wouldn't be able to apply for a renewal. So it all depends. How much is consultation? 250 is the cost. Any good news on 75 countries pause? Not right now. What's the best time to call? Anytime. Call anytime. Usually, the staff that can get you scheduled are between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Actually, not no 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. So give us a call, and you know you have a wide range of time to give us a call. Thanks so much for the love. I appreciate it. Hi there. It's nice to see you. I'm good. I hope you're doing good too. Can someone on SS marry an oversteer? If yes, will it affect the benefit? So it shouldn't affect the benefit. The concern though would be, do you make sufficient income to support them on an affidavit of support? You can always give us a call, talk to us, and we can guide you through that process. And that's going to be a big topic. That's going to be probably one of the main ways a lot of people are going to be denied is that affidavit of support. Mark my words, guys. That's what they're going to target. What if someone came here on plane from Canada and just never left and been here for 4 years, no paperwork? Can he still apply for a green card with no criminal charges? It depends on how you're applying for it. Are you applying through a spouse or a U.S. citizen spouse? Um, so I'm not sure what kind of letter they sent you, but it sounds like you need to get help ASAP. Give us a call, schedule time to talk to us about it. All right. After filing remove all conditions online, how long will it take to get a receipt notice? You should get one immediately if you filed it online. That's the beauty about filing online. It's usually on the notices tab. How long does this I-730, excuse me, how long does it take the I-730? It's been 3 years. I applied. So I don't, once again, when it comes to processing times, I don't want to really go there. You can check if it's listed on the case processing times on uscis.gov. Um, Lillian, let's see. My husband are married and I was trying to get him papers, but we contact attorney and they said only through VAWA. Is that right? I'd have to understand the facts of you and your spouse to be able to tell whether it only VAWA applies here. Usually, if your spouse entered the country without permission, you can't do it through the regular marriage based process unless the spouse was mistreating them. And in that case, the immigrant could file their own papers. Oh, thank you, Mo. I appreciate that. Thanks for the love. We're at 10K likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. This So this is where it's important. So relax zones. This is where you need to get legal counseling and consultation. U.S. citizen spouse. What if the Canadian citizen married the U.S. citizen? Adjustment of status may be possible. All right, that's gonna be it for me, guys. I'm gonna head out. I will be back. I may make appearance over the weekend, if time allows. So, as usual, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That's how you'll see when I hop on. If not, I'll see you on Monday. So thanks again, everybody, for your time. And just log on. When I'm on, log on, put your questions immediately into the comments, and I will answer. Thanks so much. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.